New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio has introduced legislation earlier today that would, for I believe the first time in US history, guarantee paid vacation of the people living in a particular city. Of course, that city is New York City. That's the one he has power over. The legislation would extend paid leave to 200,000 workers in the hotel and food industries, 180,000 workers in professional and business services, and 90,000 workers in retail, according to the mayor's office. All told, 500,000 workers in New York City who do not currently have any right or ability to access paid leave could get it if this actually becomes law. Those companies would be required to grant at least 2 weeks off for full-time workers and paid time off for part-time workers as well. It would give employees the ability to gradually accrue paid time off amounting to 10 days over a year. So depending on 10 days, 14 days, depending on the position and how long you've been there.
So let me just start off by saying that all of these proposals coming from Bill de Blasio are great. Yesterday we covered a story about how he wants to provide healthcare for every New Yorker, and that's great as well. But also, look, he's flirting with running for president in 2020. He hasn't announced yet or anything like that. But all of a sudden, he's like Oprah when she gave away cars to her audience, right? She's like, you get healthcare and you get paid time off. Like, it's amazing how these very real and important issues don't really seem to matter to some of our leaders until it could benefit them and their chances of getting something that they want. Now, maybe I'm being unfair to Bill de Blasio, but he's had the opportunity to do this for a while now. I'm glad he finally got around to it. I wish it came a little sooner.
Yeah. Well, look, Bill de Blasio does not have a perfect reputation, but he has a little bit more historic call that this is not totally out of the norm for him than some do.
Sure, yeah, look, and maybe I'm being too unfair to him, but I also want to be honest with the audience. Again, I applaud him for doing what he's doing, but it is also important to know what the intentions are behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's true. But I will say, let's say that you're 100% right. Let's say this is just pragmatic. I mean, the thing we talked about yesterday is largely in his direct control to be able to do. This one has to pass the legislature. It's a little bit more complicated. But there are different ways of like, I want to run for president. What am I going to do? There's this, propose actual worker-focused progressive changes, historic changes as we'll break down. And then there's like Gillibrand apparently was going and talking to people on Wall Street and seeing if they're interested in her potentially running. Or there's all the billionaires saying, I could self-fund my campaign. Isn't that awesome? Okay, it's awesome that you're rich, but that doesn't really do much for me or working class Americans. So of the different models, I like this one.
I'll take it, absolutely.
And there's also the possibility that he actually believes in it. But I just do want to point out, no US city or state requires paid time off for workers, while Puerto Rico does require employers to pay for time off. The law would exempt firms with fewer than 5 employees from the requirement. But again, if this passes, it will be historic, and hopefully, as with $15 an hour minimum wage, once you get it set up in certain important cities, then it can start to spread. That is, of course, the hope. And by the way, there are at least 20 countries around the world that do mandate at least 10 days of paid vacation. Some have higher thresholds as well.
Oh, it's weird. I thought America was #1. It's weird. It's weird how all these other countries somehow manage to take care of their citizens more than the United States does. Weird.
It is weird how
it's
that works
almost as if we're not #1.
Almost.
I know, and some people get really offended when you say that, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Like when you point out flaws in this country because you love this country and you want it to do better. You want the lawmakers to do better. You want to take care of your fellow Americans and make sure that they have a better quality of life. And for some reason, pointing that out offends people. But
you sound like a person that hates America.
Well, right now, I wouldn't say that I hate America, but right now, America is deeply, deeply, deeply flawed. And I think that it makes you more patriotic to point to those flaws and want to find solutions for them. Because what's more patriotic, pretending as if this country's perfect while Americans suffer? Or actually pointing out the flaws and trying to find solutions for them?
Sorry, I'm being a dick, but
no, but
I totally agree with you, obviously.
You know what, John? We have used that model for a while now, so maybe we can keep going, I don't know.
No, I just want to briefly mention, we're on a big tangent, but I want to mention, I remember it was from one of Al Franken's books years and years and years ago, I read it, and he talked about the ways that liberals and conservatives love America, and he had a great analogy for it. He said liberals love America, conservatives love America, like you love your mom, but at different stages of your life. Conservatives love America the way a child loves their mother. Their mother is perfect and virtuous and beautiful, and how dare you insult their mother? Whereas liberals love America the way grown kids love their parents. They realize that their dad used to be an alcoholic and their mom's kind of racist, and you want to make them a little bit better, so you nudge them in the right direction. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but you see them accurately. You see them for who they really are. So Al Franken, good job there.
That was
you
pretty
messed up
amazing.
After. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Earlier.
That's a great description.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.